The IMSIN function within Excel allows us to calculate the sign of a complex number. The function itself is quite simple. We write IMSIN and then we supply as the only argument the complex number. In column A, I have a complex number, so let's provide this, close the parentheses and pull this downwards. The result we're getting is the sign of the complex number. Now do keep in mind that complex numbers within Excel are considered to be text, so that's why we need a special IMSIN function and we cannot use a regular sin function to calculate the sign of a complex number. The sign of a complex number is actually equal to the following formula: e to the power iz minus e to the power minus iz divided by 2I. Now let's check if this actually holds true. So e of course stands for Euler's number, which is 2.7, 18, 28, etc. And so whenever we bring e to a certain power, we call this taking the exponential. And so we can do this with the imexp function. We use this function whenever we want to return the exponential of a complex number. So in this case, what you want to return the exponential of is I times the complex number. So first we'll have to multiply our complex number with I. We can do this with the mProduct function, which allows us to multiply multiple complex numbers together. And because complex numbers are considered to be strings in Excel, that is the reason why we need such a special formula. So the first argument will be I, which I put in between double quotation marks because it's considered text. And then the second argument will be our complex number. I close the parentheses. Now we have the exponential of I times our complex number. From this, we need to subtract the exponential of minus I times our complex number. So we will use a special function once again, which is called msub, which subtracts two numbers from each other. So from this first number, let's subtract the result of the imexp function. Now the imexp function will also take an mProduct function as an argument, where we multiply minus I, which I put in between double quotation marks, with our complex number. I close the parentheses. And so now we need to divide this result by 2I. So once again, you guessed it, we will have to use a special Excel function, which is called the mdiff function, which allows us to divide two complex numbers. So we take this entire complex number and divide it with 2I, which I put in between double quotation marks. I close the parentheses, press enter, and I will be pulling this down. And as you can see, we are getting exactly the same result. So yes, you can also calculate the sign of a complex number using this formula, using these exponential parts. So whenever you need to calculate the sign of a complex number, you can use the IMSIN function. You only need to provide one argument, which is the complex number. The imaginary part of the complex number can either be denoted with an I or a J. Thanks for subscribing and leaving an optional tip. Consider watching this video next.